Wisp Sports Radio, the voice of women in sport.
Hello, and thank you for downloading this episode of The Horse Show on Wisp Sports. This is Season 4, Episode 9, and I'm Chris Stafford. My guest this week is Danielle Travis, who has created her own pathway to a sport that is generally perceived to be elitist and usually demands the wherewithal to be able to own a string of polo ponies. Based in Hawaii, Danielle has the added challenge of travelling to the mainland to compete with other clubs, which speaks to her passion and determination to further her game. She has played with some of the sport's top players and in 2011 was one of 2 women among 12 players to be named to Team USPA by the US Polo Association. Born in Wailea, Hawaii, Danielle first sat in the saddle at the age of 4 and spent her childhood immersed in a variety of sports, from surfing and wakeboarding, naturally, being in Hawaii, to tennis, softball, competitive gymnastics, and in equestrian sport she focused on dressage and hunter jumpers. It was when she discovered polo at the age of 16 where she found the equestrian sport that would provide a team environment that she found most satisfying. Her passion for polo became an addiction once she had a taste of college polo while at Santa Barbara City College and later at Texas Christian University. Once she had graduated, Danielle went shopping for a polo pony, but instead of perusing the polo world, she went on Craigslist to find the pony in Texas that she could afford, an Appendix Quarter Horse called Bonnie, which fit her budget and ambitions. She promptly loaded her on a trailer to haul her across the country to Aiken, South Carolina, and she got the leg up there that she needed to play polo in polo tournaments and continued to travel from coast to coast after that, gaining experience and developing the network she needed to establish herself in the sport. With Bonnie back home now in Hawaii, having a break from tournaments, Danielle has headed back to California to lease some ponies and play the clubs there, with a view to becoming self-sufficient with her own string one day, and eventually play polo in Argentina and Europe, some of the meccas of polo. And I caught up with Danielle just before she headed back to California to hear how she's making her way in the sport. Hi, Daniela. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited.
Well, let's set the scene because you're in fabulous Hawaii, which a lot of people would envy, and they might think that it sounds very glamorous to be a polo player in Hawaii. What does that actually look like?
Oh, well, it's super fun. It's definitely different from the polo that I've experienced on the mainland. It's a little bit more relaxed, I would say.
How big a scene is it like, and what kind of tournaments do you have? What does the structure of it look like?
So there's quite a few tournaments that they start doing in July. But the cool thing about Hawaii is that the crowds are pretty crazy. So the venue is nothing like it in the world. It's right on the beach. I mean, you are beachfront. You can jump in the ocean, hop on your horse, and play polo, ride, stick and ball, whatever you like. And the weather is usually fantastic year-round. It's a very unique place. And if anybody can come out here and experience it, it's just amazing. The people come out, they're tailgating. I mean, thousands of people will show up in their bikinis and their trucks and tailgate and just have a good time. And it's super fast polo. We have some great players that are here. And it's just, I feel pretty stoked to be able to play here for sure.
And how many women would you have playing then compared to the men on the island there? What's the kind of ratio?
I would say there's quite a few of us. I would say there's definitely 8 to 10 of us women that are here, and there's a little bit more men for sure. We have a lot of younger women, and the men are older, and there's like some younger dudes, some, in their 30s, but It's mainly like older men that have been playing the sport for decades. But there's definitely a good mix.
So how many teams, how many clubs would you have there to choose from?
So there's only 2 clubs. So there's Honolulu Polo Club, which is in Waimanalo, which is on the east side of Oahu. And then you have Hawaii Polo Club, which is on the north shore of Oahu in a town called Mokuleia.
So is it relatively easy to get on a team then to play once the tournaments start?
So when you want to play polo, you usually have to pay a membership fee to join the club. And so then you have to do that. And then, do you have horses? Are you going to lease horses? Everybody kind of has their own horses here. Some are available for lease, but not very many. But some other like Patron guys will fly in their own pros to play with them and give them horses. So if you want to become a polo player here in Hawaii, you just have to, pay your dues, have your horses, and then you can, hire a pro to play with you or jump on a team.
So you, of course, have been playing polo a little while now, but you've done other things before you switched sports to polo, and you've played with some of the best in the world now. But how did it all begin, and why did you make that transition?
So I grew up jumping, doing Western, dressage, and then one day my trainer's husband and son, they kept leaving to go somewhere every Wednesday. I'm like, where are you guys going every Wednesday? They're like, oh, we're going to polo. I was like, where are you? What? Like, what? I didn't even know, like, really what it was. And I was maybe 15, 14 at the time. And then I went and discovered polo, and I actually was leasing a beautiful New Zealand mare, and she did everything. She jumped, she did dressage, she even played polo. So I actually started on this mare, and she just was so amazing, got me hooked. I was playing polo in like all my hunter gear. I was like the hunter jumper girl, riding in my, my jumper helmet and my breeches and my, and my field boots. It was pretty funny. I have like photos from me back in the day. But that mare was so amazing. She basically got me hooked on it. And then I actually bought another horse, a gelding, and I thought, oh, any horse can play polo. So I thought I could like play polo on him. And he like freaked out on the field and bucked me off or something. But I was like, oh, okay. So I started kind of doing that in high school, and then I was just like totally addicted and hooked at that point. So I actually moved to California and then started my intercollegiate polo career at Santa Barbara City College. So I was there for 3 years, and I was a 3-time All-Star player. My last year I ended up making it to nationals and actually played my national tournament in Lexington at the horse park.
That's a great place to play.
It's a great place for polo and just for anything horses in general. So that was a cool experience. And then so I've just been my last year of intercollegiate polo was at TCU, Texas Christian University in Fort Worth, Texas. So I finished my last year that, received an All-Star award there, and then after that I got on a national polo team from the United States Polo Association called Team USPA, and I was only one of 2 women to get chosen to be on that team and then I think it was 10 guys that got chosen too. So you get to go train and play with some of the best players and have mentors, some of the best players in the world. So it was an opportunity I was just super, super excited about. So I've just been playing polo, and it's just my entire life. It's my passion. So
yeah, clearly it is. But what was that attraction then? What was it about polo that drew you away from, an individual sport like dressage or hunter jumper?
Right. Yeah, I think my whole life I actually was an individual sport person or an individual athlete. So I grew up, I was a gymnast competitively for 13 years, and then I was doing all the hunters and stuff. I think I just craved that team sport. aspect, I think I just wanted, I don't know, I guess I just wanted to like get aggressive and just not so much that, but I think it was just, I mean, okay, maybe it was like just being able to play with a team. And yeah, like I think just getting like down and dirty with, and not dirty, but like just being aggressive and being able to just the whole aspect of it was just something I guess I was missing. It's just the excitement, the being able to have a team captain and you know, and coaching and working together, and the whole thing was just definitely something I missed as a kid. I mean, I didn't play soccer. I didn't play any of those. Like, I didn't have my soccer mom. I was just like a gymnast, kind of doing my own thing, or horse shows. So I think it was that team play that I just was craving, for sure.
Because it's different if you're on a hunter-jumper team or eventing or dressage team. It's still an individual performance, right? But
It is, yep. Yeah, you have your team, but you're out, you know, going in the ring by yourself. So I think I was meant to, you know, just like hockey. I think people just want to like bump into each other. I don't know, and just like get aggressive, and that's what makes it so addicting. But like polo, there's always room. Just like any sport, it's just always room to improve. You know, you can always make better plays. And if you're playing with better players than you, you know, your goal is like, I'm going to stick on that man. If I can mark that man, and if I can make plays on the best guy on the field, I feel like I'm being effective and I'm actually improving my game.
yeah, absolutely. You know, if obviously people listening here that never have played polo and think it's quite appealing, but you know they're riders, you know, maybe professional amateur riders. What would you say are the skills that you need as a horsewoman to do this?
I would say being a good rider is definitely a very necessary foundation, just because there's so many things at play. I mean, you're hitting, you know, offside shots. You can only use your right hand. So if you're hitting a shot on your right side, in order to go on the other side, it's the same hand, it's the same arm. So you really need good balance. You need to be able to grip with your knees and be comfortable with leaning over the horse. I mean, there's guys, if you look up, you know, any polo photos, I mean, guys are leaning out so far. It's like, how are you staying on your horse? But having that foundation is definitely critical. But I've definitely, like, when I played collegiate polo, there was one guy that jumped on the men's team, and he had not really ridden before, but he was a golfer, and he just hopped on. He was like the worst rider on the guys team, but he could hit the ball, and he figured it out. But I just think having a good foundation of the riding is pretty critical, just because it's just a dangerous sport. It's so dangerous. So definitely got to get the riding skills down.
So I imagine that vaulting might help then, if you've done vaulting as a child.
Yeah.
You know, learning how to hang off the side and.
Oh, for sure. I definitely used to vault. I remember those days. I was like, oh, cool. Like, I could put my gymnastics skills on a horse. I just remember riding around and just, you know, doing those things. But yeah, I feel like a lot of the really, really, like, the best guys in the world are honestly like vaulting. They're hanging off the horse, doing crazy stuff. They're insane.
So you probably. There were times when you were learning the sport that you didn't keep the horse between you and the ground. Were they hard lessons?
Oh, yeah. I don't fall off that much, but I mean, it's definitely tough, because you just, you know, my worst fear is like falling off at like full speed. But I think that is the one thing, is that I've been riding my whole life. So I know horses, and I mean, anything can happen in polo. You know, it can be very unpredictable, but I've definitely fallen off. I actually fell off my mare back in 2011, and she threw me off, and I landed. I wasn't even playing. I was just going to go stick and ball. I was in Aiken at the time, and I landed head first in a wire fence and just split my head open, and I had this like huge Harry Potter scar on my face. on my forehead, and that's definitely difficult to, come back from. You're like, do I keep this horse? What's going on? Or was it me? I feel like it was. Sometimes when we ride, our egos get a little bit like in the way sometimes, and maybe I shouldn't have disciplined this horse this way, and I should have read the situation better. But falling off is actually not too long ago. A horse just had a heart attack on me and died on the field, and that was really rough and it happens quite a bit. Not like super often, but that was kind of traumatic for me, because good thing I wasn't going at speed, because I don't know, I just feel super lucky because, the horse just died and it just like flopped over. But if I was going at speed, who knows? It's just, it's like top 3 most dangerous sport in the world. It's just crazy that I feel like that I'm doing this. But when you're so passionate about something, you do it no matter what. So
you mentioned the mare there, and this is a wonderful story, because last week on the show I spoke to the winner of the Jersey Fresh CCI 4-star long competition there, who bought her horse, and she's ridden it since she was the first one to ride it. She bought it as a 2-year-old filly on Craigslist, and now she's winning an international competition. You bought your mare on Craigslist. Tell us the story.
I did. So I was going to TCU at the time, and I think I had another mare in Santa Barbara I'd sold her, so I had like some money saved. It's like my horse money. Didn't have much, but I was just searching on Dream Horse, on Equine Now, on whatever all those sites are. But I was looking for a specific horse. I was looking for an appendix mare. I definitely wanted that variety. And I just was looking on Craigslist, because I feel like you can find some good stuff on Craigslist. I know it. So I was just searching every day. I was like, I'm determined. I'm going to find a horse here, and searching every day. Finally, I came across this headline that was this bay appendix mare, 4 years old. And the headline said, Polo prospect, something, all caps. I was like, oh God, oh my gosh, I got to call this lady right now. So went on the phone, called her. I was like, can I come see this horse right now? It's like, literally, I've been like thinking about this horse, manifesting this horse. So I traveled to Wichita Falls, Texas, and 2.5 hours away, saw the mare, went to the ATM. I just got the cash out, and I like lunged her a little bit, kind of saw her personality. I rode her. I even showed her the mallet, and I was like, oh, this mare doesn't even care. This horse does not care about much. And yeah, then I just, I got the vet check, and I just bought her. And then, the mare has just, she's just incredible. I've had her for 10 years now. She's 14. It's pretty crazy, because like I've traveled all over the country with her. I started in Texas, and then I moved to South Carolina. I bought this 2-horse bumper pull Logan trailer that I just haul my 1-horse string around, and I'd go to, I moved to South Carolina, and then I had to move up to Virginia for a job, and then Danielle, do you want to play in this tournament in Florida? So I'd shoot down to Florida with Boomy, and it was just like me and my 1 horse. That just doesn't happen in polo. Like, no one really just has 1 horse. Like, it's just, it's just like pretty funny. And then I'd travel around with my friends. Like, we would go, I was on my way back to California, so I'd travel all across the country with Boomy again. And like, I was going with my friends who were going to play in a tournament in Houston. And it was them and their like 10-horse trailers with 8 to 10 horses in it. And then there's me like trailing along with Boomy in the back, like with my 1 horse. And then we'd stop at the gas stations, and I'd pull in like next to all the big semis, and Boomy's just like, she has this thing where she paws. So she paws for 10 years I've been dealing with this, and it's just like, oh my gosh, like forever dealing with this horse. And she's pawing away in the trailer, and everybody's just like laughing at me, because it's just like, they just think it's so funny that it's just me and my one horse. I'm just traveling around. And then I got back to California, and then, and then she came to Hawaii with me, put her on a plane. There was actually a time where when I moved back to Hawaii, I was just like getting my career going, starting to sell real estate. And I actually asked my friend, I was like, I honestly cannot, it was a crazy time because like, I just couldn't focus on, getting my career going and having a horse and having all those expenses along with it. So my friend was like so awesome to take her for me for a year. So I actually gave up my horse for a year, and she was turned out in Aiken while I moved back to Hawaii. It was pretty crazy to not see my horse for a year, but it definitely helped me get on my feet again. And then they had her shipped back to California. I mean, the mare's just been all over the place. It's so crazy, but she's been like, it's amazing. And then like I would play, in tournaments in Florida, and I actually got a best playing pony award, and I was competing against, a lot of horses that people spend multiple thousands of dollars for. And I was like, oh my God, like my Craigslist pony just like made some, awesome plays on these like really, really, really expensive horses. I was like, you go, Boomy. It was just like so, so proud. And she was the first horse I trained for polo, and she, it's just awesome. She's just a crazy mare that just turned out, I just got so lucky, and it turns out she has like these amazing bloodlines. I was like, wow, I think I need to like continue this, because I'm thinking about potentially, finding a stud and breeding her. So I don't know.
It was going to be my next question, actually. Were you going to capitalize on her being such a good mare and get a foal out of her?
No, for sure. And I'm thinking, because she's had miles on her. I mean, she's 14, but, with that year off, she's like had some time off. And the mare is like so accident prone too. Like she's like obliterated her back legs a couple times. It's just like a constant. I mean, if you're a horse person, they're just accident prone in general. But other than like her little quirks, I mean, the mare is just stupid athletic, and the bloodlines are there. But I was actually thinking of maybe doing like a surrogate situation, so she didn't have to take 9 months off, But I don't know. I just think like at one point I have to get a baby out of her. So, but that's expensive too. So much work.
Yeah, absolutely, and there is a gamble attached to breeding as well. But you mentioned totally. That you're going to California to play, but you don't take her with you. What does she do while she's left behind on the island?
She does whatever Boomy wants. I actually have a girl. Her name's Olivia. She's a hunter jumper out at the ranch where I'm at, and she just like loves our horses. She's the sweetest, and she rides steps for me and my friends. So she'll take Boomy around and look after her while I'm gone, and take her in sets and just keeping her fit, so I can play her when I get back.
And when you travel over to the mainland, you get what we call catch rides or lease horses or ponies to play. Mm-hmm. That's obviously more economical than bringing the mare over. But talk a little bit about what that looks like. Do you know people at the clubs that you're going to? Do you have to have a temporary membership? How does it work when you're traveling as a polo player?
Right. So there's like mainly disadvantages, I guess, when you have to lease horses and you don't have your own, because some horses you just don't know. You don't know what they're capable of. You're like, I don't know if I reach out this far, is it going to duck out on me? Like there's a lot of unknowns. So it's definitely, I don't have a choice, but my friend, longtime friend, her name's Megan Judge, and she runs polo at the Central Coast Polo Club out in the Central Coast, California, San Luis Obispo. And I've known her since I moved to California in 2005. She's the coach of the Cal Poly polo team. But I've been riding her horses for 10 years, and I play in a big Santa Barbara women's tournament with her every year. So there's a lot of horses that I've ridden before, so that's good. So when I was like, I need to go play in this tournament. So it's the first women's jackpot tournament, and we get a chance to actually win money in polo, which is I was like, I have to do this. You know how much money I've spent
Yeah.
in polo? Like I need some of it back. but having her as a source has been so great, just because she's improved her horse string just tremendously throughout the years. And I just made sure, I was like, okay, which horses I need this one and this one and this one. Which are the one, what do you think I'll like? You know, she knows the kind of horses I like. So I think I've compiled a good string of horses for me to play for this tournament. And then there's other people out there that definitely have horses to rent. And, you know, the good thing about being in intercollegiate polo is that when you play, you have to ride, you know, horses that you know and horses that you don't know. So I recommend, you know, getting into the scholastic and intercollegiate program, because it just makes you so much more well-rounded, that you can get on a horse, feel it out for, you know, 5 to 10 seconds. And you're like, okay, I have a feeling for what this is going to do. But definitely, like, when you're riding a horse and playing it are totally different things. But at the same time, it definitely makes you more well-rounded, for sure. But there are times where I've leased horses and I was like, oh, stick and balling. Oh yeah, this horse is nice. I get on it, run away. You know, I mean, and then it makes you look like a dummy out there. You're like, wow, I can't do anything on this horse. So there's definitely an event. Like, if I could, maybe one day I'll have my own string of horses where, you know, and that's like where you improve your game, really, is when you can have your own horses that you can play to the best of your ability. You know, you want the best horses that you possibly can. So it's expensive, but, you know, one day leasing is, you know, it's just grateful that I can leave Hawaii and go play, you know, because that's what I need to do to, like, keep my handicap current and play against, you know, other national players. So it's super fun. So I look forward to is leaving.
Yeah, continue to get that experience. What is your handicap currently?
So the USPA actually, Sunny Hale actually, she rest in peace, but she was, you know, just a legend in polo. She was the best women's polo player, and she developed a women's handicap system. So now the USPA has a mix, so like men and women, and then a women's rating. So my mixed rating outdoor is a 0.5. So on a scale from like -2 to 10, I'm 0.5. They have these half goal handicap. So I just got raised to 0.5. And then my arena handicap is 3 goals. And my women's handicap outdoor is 4. And then in the arena, my women's handicap is 6 goals.
Right. Okay. So, big ambitions, Nan. What does the future really look like for you as a polo player? What would you like it to look like? Would it mean moving to the mainland?
Yeah, I really think so. You know, I've always had dreams to be the best, and I feel like I can be. I've been told I have the talent. Like, I believe I do. But I really do think that moving to the mainland is going to help, because my other passion is training. Like, I love training my mare, and I know, excuse me, she turned out so great. I'm like, well, I can make other great horses too. And I've just been riding my entire life. And I actually, you know, I was trained in the dressage and the hunter, so I understand, you know, a lot more than maybe some other people don't. So I like to train horses and incorporate all the things that I've learned throughout my life. And I want to acquire green horses, and I want to make them, and I want to sell them. It's too hard to do it here, just because there's no market. You know, I want to be able to maybe train a horse and sell to an 8-goal polo player, there's just more of an opportunity on the mainland to acquire young horses and train them and sell them, and then, you know, have a place to keep them. It's just and more playing opportunities, more arena polo tournaments. Like, since I'm rated 3 goals, I feel like I can I'll be able to play more, or maybe get paid one day. Like, maybe one day I'll get paid.
Make enough money from selling what you're producing there and have a thriving business.
Yeah, selling travel masks, hopefully that'll just take off, and then I can, everything I do, everything I work hard for, everybody works hard for something, and I work hard for polo. I work hard for the polo, in that lifestyle. I mean, you have goals. So yeah, I think maybe moving to the mainland has definitely been on my mind for a while. It's hard when you're on an island and you have a bunch of stuff, and then you got to deal with this, and then you have a horse you got to fly. Like who has to deal with that? Not very many people.
And on your bucket list, would you like to play like in Argentina or Europe? Have you had those opportunities yet, or is that still on your bucket list?
Oh, definitely. I haven't been to Argentina yet, which is crazy. Yeah, I would love to go. Wake up, play polo, go to sleep, wake up, play polo, go to bed, wake up, play polo. Like, I would love to do that in Argentina. I would love to go play in Europe. I would love to go play in New Zealand. So I know it'll happen. It'll just take a little bit of time, but I'll definitely get there for sure.
Well, I love to hear that ambition and determination, and clearly, you're focused enough and you're so passionate about it that I can see it happening. Well, we need to keep up with you, Danielle, so let's stay in touch. I really appreciate you coming on the show and sharing your story.
Totally. Yeah. I thank you so much. I appreciate you reaching out on Instagram and actually doing this. It's awesome. I'm happy to share my story.
Terrific. Again, the best of luck when you come to California. Have a great summer of polo, and thanks again for your time.
Thank you so much.
Conversations from the world of women's sports. This is Wisp Sports Radio.
And if you go to our show notes on the website at wispsports.com, go to the Listen tab from the top menu and click on the Horse Show, where you will find links to Danielle's social media, where you can follow her travels around the world of polo. And whilst you're on the website, do check out some of the other coverage we have here at Wisp Sports, from articles to blogs, videos, and of course a world of podcasts that you will find nowhere else when it comes to women's sports. And you can also subscribe free on your podcast app to Wisp Sports and catch up there on some of the many shows that we have here from around the world. You can always join in the conversation too by shooting us an email to info@wispsports.com and following us on social media at Wisp Sports. Until the next time, thank you for listening and supporting women in sport everywhere. Goodbye for now.